Letter 62. Culross, on occasion of his banishment to Aberdeen. Elizabeth Melville, wife of James Colville, the eldest son of Alexander, commendator of Culross, was the daughter of Sir James Melville of Halhill in Fife. Her father was ambassador from Queen Mary to Queen Elizabeth, and a privy councillor to King James VI. He was also a man of piety, who, says Livingstone, professed he had got assurance from the Lord that himself, wife, and all his children should meet in heaven. Lady Culross held a high place among the eminent Christians in her day. Livingstone says, she was famous for her piety and for her dream concerning her spiritual condition, which she put in verse, which was published by others. Of all that ever I saw, she was most unwearied in religious exercises, and the more she enjoyed access to God therein, she hungered the more. She was present at the famous communion at Chartres in June 1636, when the sermon preached by Livingstone on the Monday after was the means, it is believed, of the conversion of not less than 500 individuals. The night before had been spent in prayer by a great number of Christians in a large room of the inn where she slept, and the minister who should have preached on Monday having fallen sick, it was at her suggestion that the other ministers assisting on that occasion, to whom Livingstone was a stranger, laid upon him the work of addressing the people. There is a poem written by her, entitled Ungodly Dream, and there is still preserved a sonnet of her composition which she sent to Mr. John Welsh when he was imprisoned in Blackness, 1605. My dear brother, with courage bear the cross. Joy shall be joined with all thy sorrow here. High is thy hope. Disdain this earthly dross. Once shall you see the wished day appear. Now it is dark, thy sky cannot be clear. After the clouds it shall be calm anon. Wait on his will, whose blood hath bought thee dear. Extol his name, though outward joys be gone. Look to the Lord, thou art not left alone. Since he is thine, what pleasure canst thou take? He is at hand, and hears thy every groan. End out thy fight, and suffer for his sake. A sight most bright thy soul shall shortly see, when store of glory thy rich reward shall be. Woodrow, Volume 29. Challenges of conscience, the cross, no burden. Madam, your letter came in due time to me, now a prisoner of Christ, and in bonds for the gospel. I am sentenced with deprivation and confinement within the town of Aberdeen. But oh, my guiltiness, the follies of my youth, the neglects in my calling, and especially in not speaking more for the kingdom, crown, and sceptre of my royal and princely King Jesus, do so stare me in the face, that I apprehend anger in that which is a crown of rejoicing to the dear saints of God. This before my compearance, which was 3 several days, did trouble me, and burdeneth me more now, howbeit Christ, and in him God reconciled, met me with open arms, and trysted me precisely at the entry of the door of the Chancellor's Hall, and assisted me to answer, as that the advantage is not theirs, but Christ's. Alas, there is no cause of wondering that I am thus borne down with challenges, for the world hath mistaken me, and no man knoweth what guiltiness is in me so well as these two, who keep my eyes now waking and my heart heavy. I mean, firstly, my heart and conscience, and secondly, my Lord, who is greater than my heart. Show your brother that I desire him, while he is on the watchtower, to plead with his mother, and to plead with this land, and spare not to cry for my sweet Lord Jesus, his fair crown, that the interdicted and forbidden lords are plucking off his royal head. If I were free of challenges and a high commission within my soul, I would not give a straw to go to my Father's house through 10 deaths for the truth and cause of my lovely, lovely one, Jesus. But I walk in heaviness now. If ye love me, and Christ in me, my dear lady, pray, pray for this only, that bygones betwixt my Lord and me may be bygones, and that he would pass from the summons of his high commission, and seek nothing from me, but what he will do for me and work in me. If your ladyship knew me as I do myself, ye would say, Poor soul, no marvel. It is not my apprehension that createth this cross to me. It is too real, and hath sad and certain grounds. But I will not believe that God will take this advantage of me, when my back is at the wall. He who forbiddeth to add affliction to affliction, will he do it himself? Why should he pursue a dry leaf and stubble? Desire him to spare me now. Also the memory of the fair feast days that Christ and I had in his banqueting house of wine, and of the scattered flock once committed to me, and now taken off my hand by himself, because I was not so faithful in the end as I was in the first 2 years of my entry, when sleep departed from my eyes, because my soul was taken up with a care for Christ's lambs. Even these add sorrow to my sorrow. Now my Lord hath only given me this to say, and I write it under mine own hand. Be ye the Lord's servant witness. Welcome, welcome, sweet, sweet cross of Christ. Welcome, fair, fair, lovely, royal King, with thine own cross. Let us all three go to heaven together. Neither care I much to go from the south of Scotland to the north, and to be Christ's prisoner among unco faces, in a place of this kingdom which I have little reason to be in love with. I know Christ shall make Aberdeen my garden of delights. I am fully persuaded that Scotland shall eat Ezekiel's books, that is written within and without, lamentation and mourning and woe. Ezekiel chapter 2 verse 10. But the saints shall get a drink of the well that goeth through the streets of the new Jerusalem, to put it down, thus hoping that ye will think upon the poor prison of Christ. I pray grace, grace be with you, your ladyships, in his sweet Lord Jesus. Samuel Rutherford, Edinburgh, July the 30th, 1636.